So let's get right to the video. So for those wondering, hi, I'm Sylvia Eve. I am an episode author myself. I am the author of The Crimson Keeper, which has been a featured story on the Episode Interactive app, the Behind the Hood series, and many, many more stories.
Please hang up and try again.
So today I'm going to talk to you guys about my top 10 favorite episode stories, but I decided I'm going to go by genre. So today I'm going to give you guys my top 10 fantasy stories on the Episode Interactive app. So I'm recommending number 10, which is Shifter by Aurora. I think I said it right. Really hope I did. I recommend her story Shifter because first off, it's her first ever story. I know what that's like, writing your first story. You don't know how successful the story's going to be, and you're just getting the hang of coding and everything, and it's just a really stressful time, but also exciting as well. So I checked out Shifter, and I actually really love the story. I really love the plot, and I think Aurora did an amazing job with the story, and I definitely recommend you guys to check out her story Shifter. There's character customization, the plot is gripping, and the main character, I just love her. The next story I definitely recommend to anybody that loves a unique werewolf story. It is called The Ember Moon Pack by Giselle Crescent, who is literally one of my wolf sisters on Instagram. She takes an ordinary werewolf story but gives it that twist that it needs. And I love how mesmerizing her stories are. She puts in a lot of effort and makes sure that there's just enough detail so the reader knows exactly what's going on and doesn't get too confused, which I, for one, sometimes definitely make my stories a little bit confusing, but I don't do it on purpose. So Giselle, definitely hats off to her for making a plot that's very clear. Her story has customization, which you can fully customize the characters to however you want, which I am for and against because I love stories that have full customization, but at the same time, it takes away from what kind of the author envisions the characters to be. But it's also preference as well. I love character customization. Sometimes I limit mine, but I honestly love it. Giselle's choices also matter in stories, so I'm always scared to make the wrong choice in stories that always have choices matter. So I'm always careful with what I choose. And she also has an LGBTQ option, which I find some stories on episode don't have that, or that they don't give that option for you to choose. So I'm very happy that Giselle is very, very open-minded with her story and with everybody in the community as well. This is another story for those who love kind of the supernatural, where there's powers and supernatural creatures, so like werewolves, vampires, etc., etc. This story has it all. The story that I'm giving the number 8 spot to is Cassidy's story, The Watcher, the Limelight edition. There's also an ink version as well, but I love both. So I'm giving her the number 8 spot because her story is literally so mesmerizing to me, and I am literally a huge fantasy nerd to begin with. So this just literally inspires me to create my stories just as amazing as hers. And I really honestly think she deserves more reads in the community. And Cassidy, if you're ever watching this, your stories are literally inspiring and so mesmerizing, and I just want you to keep up the great work. I'm giving the number 7, we're almost in the top 5, spot to Issa Parks for her story Arthusa, I'm sorry, Institute of Magic. What can I say about this story that hasn't already been said? Issa's story is magical, breathtaking, and I am honestly falling in love with the story. I am always excited for her updates. It's one of my stories that I literally, as soon as she updates, I go and check it out because her story is so capturing and alluring. It's honestly probably one of my favorite stories I've read on the app. And Isa, if you are watching this, please keep up the great work. If I remember correctly, I think this story got featured on the app as well. But don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. But Isa, literally, keep up your amazing work. I love your story. And honestly, you're such a great person too. I talk to you on Instagram all the time. And you're just literally amazing. So keep up the amazing work. And seriously, your story is so magical. It blows my mind. What can I say about this next author? Well, we were featured on the same shelf together, the All Able shelf, on the Episode Interactive app. She is such a kind, gentle, caring, supportive author, and she has become one of my favorites and actually a really great friend. Her story, the one that I am giving the number 6 spot to, Forbidden Wings. Literally, she made me cry because honestly, the story, it was captivating. The plot was amazing. The characters are amazing. The choices, literally, choices matter. I'm always scared to pick which one's going to happen, what's going to affect the story if I don't pick the other one. So I'm always one of those people that I like to see kind of where both directions go. And Rebecca's story captures that. She is literally a very hard worker and a great member of the community. And her story, Forbidden Wings, it's literally breathtaking to me because I didn't know that a story can make you cry, and I've only cried with a few stories before, and this one, I'm happy to say, made that list, and it's amazing. The story allows character customization, there's LGBTQ options, the choices matter, she blows my mind, and I'm just literally so proud and honored that I was on the same shelf as her. So I literally love Forbidden Wings and definitely recommend you guys to check it out. Before we continue our literally amazing countdown, I want to give some honorable mentions to some literally amazing stories that blow my mind, and if I could make literally a top 20 list, maybe I'd fit all of them, but I wanted to do a top 10. So here are some honorable mentions before I start to get a little bit emotional about the top 5. So here we go. Here we go. Number 5. This story I remember I did a story review for. I loved the Greek mythology concept mixed in with real life. This author is literally super funny, an amazing friend. She is always up for giving advice and literally deserves this spot. And her story literally, she blows my mind. And I know I said that about all the other stories I've named, but she literally takes the Greek, wow, mythology concept and twists it into real life, and I really love it. Her story literally always blows my mind. So, in the number 5 spot is Into Deep by Sweet Stories. Seriously, love your work, and I am always a fan of yours, and I love ya. This author is one of my all-time favorites, and I'm happy to say she is one of my best friends. Her stories are mesmerizing. They take my breath away. I'm always blown away at her use of overlays, the character dynamic, the plot, the covers overall. She's so talented, and she has been featured multiple times, and I words cannot express how talented this author is. So in the number 4 spot is the lovely Moonlit Feathers by Wincy C. I definitely recommend this story, and it is in my top 10 because everything is so mesmerizing, magical, and it definitely takes you to a different world. And it's just, I love it. Every time there's an update, I literally stop what I'm doing and I play it. So I honestly am a fan of her work. This next author really inspired me with her story, Pregnant by a Vampire. And I was drawn to her narration, her characters, her directing, her choices, the love interest, just everything about this story made me fall in love with episode and made me want to start writing. And I have a few authors who actually have inspired me to write and have helped me since, and I literally love them. But this author in particular is a huge for me. She's like one of my like idols for fantasy writing. She is always creative. She's friendly, she's kind, and she's very inspirational to me in that. So here we go. In the number 3 spot is Lumiera by Latricia Lake, and she is inspirational, and I recommend you guys check out her stories. They literally are the definition of fantasy. This author I've seen grow throughout the episode community. I started to get to know her when she was just starting out, and she just published a story, and I read it, and I was like, you are going to be the next big episode author. And she was very touched by that. And I remember reading her story. I remember falling in love with the characters. I remember the wolves. I remember she incorporates all the elements, all the feels, the narration. Literally, it tugs at your heartstrings, but it also mesmerizes you with all the fantasy work. And she has been featured on episode multiple times, and she has literally over 2 million reads on the story. I am so proud of her. So the number 2 spot goes to my wolf sister KCC with Power of the Moon. Seriously, I am so proud of her. Her characters are very, very amazing, and I literally cannot wait for the sequel, and I cannot wait for the Limelight version coming out. So, Casey, if you are watching this, literally, I'm so proud of you, my wolf sister. You are literally one of the most creative people, kind, caring, funny person in the episode community, and I literally am so touched and blown away by your work every time you update, and I'm just so proud of you. Before I announce who made number one, I want to thank literally all of you for watching this video. It's my first ever video, and I'm going to be definitely making more, and I literally hope you check out the stories. I will put literally the link to all of the stories I've mentioned in my bio below, and I'm literally so proud of all these authors and even everybody in the episode community. We literally have each other's backs, and that is why I literally joined, because I just find we all should have each other's back and ignore the drama. There's literally so much of it already, and do we really need more? I don't think we do. I don't know why we need more. I guess people like starting shit. So you can't help them sometimes, I guess. But we're going to ignore all that and go to the number one story that I have for you guys for my top 10 fantasy stories. So, this author was one of the first stories I ever read on the episode app. She's kind, caring, a queen, always in my opinion. I've featured her in my episode stories. I read her stories all the time. I'm always so touched, so blown away, so inspired by this author that I actually want to be like her one day, or hope that I be somewhat like her one day for my own writing, but just overall in general how amazing this person is as an author. And she inspires me. She's literally one of my all-time favorite fantasy authors. She inspires me. She's kind. She's queen. So, and I know I'm just rambling and repeating. So, without further ado, the number one spot goes to Sundozia by Suzanne. Literally, she's strong. She's courageous. I just love her work and her stories. She inspires me to become a better author, and she's humble. She's humble, patient. She's just amazes me. So that's why she's number one. Alright, my wolf pack, that's everything from me. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely be reading all of your comments. So let me know what you think my next video should be in the comments below, and I will see you all later.